I'm crazy. I'm crazy. I'm just crazy. I'm just crazy. I'm crazy. Crazy. I'm still in and I'm crazy.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Silver and Sensational. It is the I, as in Lois Mills, welcoming you back and thanking you for tuning in. And a special thanks to all of you who have commented on the latest episode of the Golden Bachelorette. And here we are at the finale. Oh gosh. It's hard to believe that it's been 9 weeks. Oh, doesn't it seem like just yesterday when I was moaning and groaning about 90 minutes? Then again, I think I've moaned and groaned about 90 minutes every week. But let's get on with what happened last night on the finale of the Golden Bachelorette. Of course, it opens with Joan crying.
How do you feel now?
Over Pascal's rejection. She's now worried about ever finding anyone. It's just never going to happen. She's lost her hope.
It just makes me feel like I'm unlovable.
She feels unlovable. And Nancy from the Golden Bachelor comes and commiserates with her and offers her support. She tells her, listen, you are lovable. You deserve love. And she points out that Joan has told Nancy that Guy is wonderful and her hopes were just brought back to life when Chock returned after leaving to go, I guess, to Mom's funeral. The mom, the family that came first, and he would never leave any of them. But his dying mother, he left. But anyway, I'll continue moaning about that till the end of days. But at any rate, let me get to the guy in this. The guy that she wasn't certain about, blah, blah, blah. As it turns out, she feels that she can't even go on this last date with Guy. So she goes over to his room, knocks on the door, and he's all excited. He's fallen in love, and he's just feeling so positive about this whole thing. And she walks in and sits down, and they start to talk about this journey that they've taken together and that they've gotten, so close. And then she lays it on him with the words, my heart belongs to someone else. Well, let me tell you, this grown man, ER doctor from Reno, starts to literally sobbing. And they're hugging and he's sobbing and she feels awful. And I'm thinking, listen, I'm not the greatest person to talk about or to cast any judgment on someone else's reaction to rejection because, I haven't been exactly a stalwart and a hardened person that can just say, all right, if that's how you feel, that's fine with me. I've had my share of hysterics, and clearly no one's ever been so in love with me that when I've rejected them, I've never seen the sobs coming. I mean, just, it was unbelievable. But then again, this whole program has had men sobbing away.
He's got a real connection with Joan.
As well as her. But let me leave that where it is, and we'll see Guy a bit later in the program. But for now, let's move on to candidate number 1, Chock. Chock. To me, he's still chicken soup. Chock. So Chock meets the kids, and this seems to be like a pretty good meeting with them. But the son, wants a one-on-one with Chock, to kind of find out what are Chock's intentions with his mother. Chock comes in with, well, I'm not trying to replace your father. Really, I think not. I love your mother and I want to be with her and I want to get engaged to her. So the son feels, well, the man has good intentions and the kids both feel, if their mom is happy, they're okay with this. 6 years has passed. And I can tell you from my own experience with my mother, and I certainly was more than adult, I was about these kids' ages when my dad passed away. And initially, it may sound selfish when you say, I really would not really like my mother to remarry. At that point, it's not so much being selfish, and I'm talking from my own point, my own experience, but more once the mom marries, it really solidifies that your dad truly is gone. And I think that that was more where I was 5, 6 years after my dad passed away, more so than when it was longer than that and I had really adjusted and then felt, please, somebody take my mother off my hands.
Now you take my wife, please.
But Joan's kids don't feel exactly the way I felt about my mother. And so this getting to meet the children went, I thought, very, very well. So now Chock presents Joan with this heart-shaped key ring with 2 keys as a symbol that he wanted them to move to New York. So he tells her yet again that he loves her, but she doesn't respond. But now she is so relieved to know that she is lovable. I got to stop here to tell you that I just find this to be really a red flag.
Oh, sweet mother of shit.
If his telling her he loves her suddenly takes her from feeling unlovable to lovable, I just don't know. I don't think this woman is ready to move on to do anything. But let's move on to see what she chooses, because unlike me, she seems to have a different viewpoint. Now, again, you're going to see me glance down because I took some notes and I want to be certain I cover everything that I picked up last night. So she starts to reminisce about their first date, how wonderful it was up until the last date that she had with him. She's just plain smitten with Chock. Why? I don't know. I really don't, because he seems, as I've mentioned before, he seems to be smothering. Everything with him is over the top. It seemed to me that throughout all the weeks we've been with these, all of them, but particularly with Joan and Chock, Chock was always seemed to be more worried about the competition and winning over the other guys.
I should have been on that helicopter.
There was just something about him, but the program moves on, and now we get to what is live. Most of the guys are in the audience, and main players' families are in the audience. Guy is sitting with Jessie, the host. They actually replay the scene when she breaks up with him. And Guy's sitting and watching this. And, you could see the eyes tearing up and, the audience, let's pull at these heartstrings. And then out comes Joan, because he's assured Jessie that he is ready to meet with her again. And they hug, and she looks fabulous. Here, she looks absolutely fabulous. Gorgeous silver-topped strapless gown, white bottom slit up the thigh. I mean, she looks really sensational. And they're hugging, and he is still on high emotion from watching what was his complete heartbreak. Since he had fallen in love with her, he wanted to know, what did I miss? I was so positive that we would be moving forward. What had I missed? Did he miss something? And then this answer she gave, again, I just didn't get it. She tells Guy that he didn't really miss anything, but there was this time element involved. I understand this was all for TV, but she said if there was more time, that this could have had a different outcome. Jesus, I don't know about you people, but I mean, we're talking about spending the rest of your life together, picking up and moving from your families. And you're worried about the time element involved? I mean, I don't get it. Maybe you, as the viewers, can give me your point of view because I sat there thinking, what the hell is this? Are you really looking for a mate for yourself? Or does it have to come within a certain number of days? Because this is basically what she was saying to him. You would have been somebody I would have pursued, but we just didn't have enough time. Now, she didn't give Pascal. Pascal needed more time, but maybe Pascal would never come up to where she was. And he did say that he couldn't give her what she needed at that time. Now she's using time again, but this time she's telling a man, well, there was a time element involved. All right, I get that. I suspect that she was just trying to let him down easily. You know, instead of saying, I really don't want your tongue down my throat, I really would prefer his tongue. And she couldn't really say that, but I don't know. I wish she had come up with a different reason other than, well, there just wasn't enough time. And then, the ultimate. Hopefully, you'll still be in my life and we could be friends. And you know what? Joan, Lo is talking to you now. I'm sorry. The man in your heart isn't going to let you have a conversation with any of those guys. Bet me. Bet me. He is so smothering and is so worried about all the other guys that might be after you that you're not going to be able to say, oh, by the way, I heard from Guy today. And then maybe we could even double date. Wham! Give me a break. If somebody told me that, I would tell them to shove it. We just witnessed a murder on national TV. What the hell? Joan, thank God you're moving from your John to the Chock, because you want to take somebody's huevos and squeeze them till they're screaming mama? You just did. Double date? Christ. So now we see Joan thinking about her John again and sad because, now she's moving on to Chock. And now he comes out all glowy, and apparently they had to hide in an apartment, but they have spent time together and his love is just deepened. They go ahead and they play their time in Bora Bora. I'll tell you, the wardrobe person for this program should get an Emmy. She really, or he, has done a fabulous job. And now she is wearing this cut-in halter, beautiful, all white sequined gown with an applique of pink and purple flowers that are also in beading, and it's wonderful. And she's waiting for him, and he's in a suit and dress shoes walking along the beach in Bora Bora. And he is saying, this is the biggest day in my life. In his 61 years. Chock, didn't you get engaged before recent? She passed away, but couldn't that have been the biggest day in your life? Or how about but this was the biggest day in his life. You see what I mean? The reason I don't like this guy, I have never liked him, is he smells fake to me. He just smells fake. And so he goes to her, he tells her how much he loves her, and he gets down on his knee and he opens this box with the engagement ring, and she's absolutely beside herself. So cynical Lois says, is this the same engagement ring he gave to Kathy? Is this on, the revolving engagement ring? Let's see who's next. I know what you're going to tell me, but I'm positive that that's the same engagement ring. Positive. No matter what they tell you. I know it is. My heart says it's the same engagement ring. So she gives him the golden rose, and now we know, since this rose is golden, that this is the finale. She comes out to meet with him, and they just can't keep their hands off one another, and now the producers start to play all the times he used the words, "I'm just crazy about her. I'm just crazy about her." And then another scene, "I'm just crazy about her." And another scene, "I'm just crazy about her." And then finally, how about just saying, "I'm just crazy," because I think he is.
I'm crazy. I'm crazy. I'm just crazy. I'm crazy. Crazy. I'm still in and I'm crazy.
No, I don't think he's crazy. I think he's a phony. But then again, she begins to talk about from the beginning, she knew he was the one from the time they were at Disneyland. And again, she saw a future. She felt comfortable. She felt safe. And then she tells him she loves him. She vowed she would not say those words. And she said there were times when he would tell her he loved her that she just was so hard to hold back from telling him she loved him. But she tells him that she loves him and wants to spend the rest of her life with him. Here we are. They're in the big prize. He tells her that he's going to honor John by treating her with love every day and telling her that he loves her. See, this is why I think he's fake. You're so worried about all the competition, about getting rid of all those guys that were there, but you're going to BS about honoring her late husband. I mean, when the hell do you move on? I'm not saying you should forget, but when he says it, I just find it to be just fake. I mean, if you're so smothering and you're so worried, you're bringing up John. I just have a feeling that 6 months into this relationship, when they have their first argument, you damn well better believe that John's name is going to come up, and it's not going to be so loving as he's talking about John today. He's not going to like it one bit when she tries to do something she did with John or mentions John in a way. It just, everybody applauded for the golden couple, and she hopes to inspire other older singles to get out there. And Chock is also talking to those of us to take a risk. What risk was he taking? I mean, this is the same guy that said the only person he would leave his dying mother for was Joan when he didn't even know her. They will be sending, they being the producers. Jesse gives each of them, and Joan gets white Mickey Mouse ears with a little veil, and he gets the typical black Mickey Mouse ears because they're sending the two of them and both their families to Disney World. I'm going to go to Disney World. Let's fast forward some 6 months. I'm not entirely certain we're going to see a wedding band connected to that engagement ring. I'm not sure if she's going to see through what I see through on Chock, or maybe it's me. Maybe I'm completely wrong. I hope so for her sake. But at the same time, I also feel the best choice she could have made was to choose no one, because she's way too dependent on what a man thinks of her to be able to make the kind of decision that has more validity for her and not so much to prove that she's lovable to herself. But we will see what happens. I want to know, of course, what you're seeing, what you think. I really want to know please, if you haven't written before, or if you have commented before, lay it on me, because I want to know how you guys feel. So far, the majority of you have felt that I was on target, but maybe you saw a different side of Chock than I did in the last episode, so let me know. In the meantime, seeing Grant and knowing that, believe me, I'm not going to be doing the Bachelor. That's just not going to happen. But for those of you who have checked out my other YouTube episodes, I hope that you will continue with me. If you don't know, I am making a huge move. Huge. I'm upending my life entirely, picking myself up, getting rid of really, for all intents and purposes, all of my earthly possessions and moving to Paris. I've just given a date of the middle of January. I've got all kinds of news to share with you as to what's happening with all of it. And I think you're going to find it kind of fun. And I've said it before. I'm scared. I'm terrified. I'm still not as terrified, but I sure am apprehensive. I mean, anybody with half a brain would be apprehensive about picking themselves up and moving to a place where, believe me, I'm trying desperately to learn the language. It's not coming as quickly as I would like. I don't know anyone there. I've been going for 50 years. It's my favorite place in the world. And it's sort of the fulfillment of a lifetime dream. So I hope you stick with me. And at the very least, tune in next week and see what I've got to say about it. But you can see from my previous episodes, my content is really mainly speaking to, even though we have a lot of men viewers, I'm kind of speaking to the gals out there. And really, I started out with seasoned women, but I'm finding a lot of you younger women are tuning into me. So I'm just going to continue to give you my life's experience and hopefully pass along some of the wisdom I have learned. So here we are at the end of a season of the Golden Bachelorette, saying goodbye to that and hello to going on with our lives. So if you would, please, we'll be blogging a great deal about all that's going on, and I'm going to be doing something for the holidays that I think you'll be interested in on Amazon Shop. In the meantime, to go down into the description box and click on the link to be taken to our blog. And of course, you know the whole routine. If you haven't subscribed, please do so because it helps us tremendously. Nobody's going to bother you. You don't have to pay anything. Although we are going to be looking at memberships in the very near future with bonus episodes, and we'll talk about that in the future. But for now, please hit the like hand. Do share us with your friends and family. And press the notification bell so you know when we drop this episode. And in the meantime, I wish you all a wonderful week. Be well. Bye now.
I've traveled each and every highway and more, much more than this. I did it my way.